The earth did not forget. In Umu-Aja, the elders always said, "What is buried in silence does not sleep, it waits." And now it had begun to stir. It started with the dogs. On the seventh night after Ada's child was buried, every dog in the kingdom began to howl. Not the scattered barking of restless animals, but a long, unified cry that rose into the sky like a warning. Men stepped out of their huts. Women clutched their wrappers tighter. Children woke in fear. The sound pointed in one direction: the sacred Iroko tree. No one dared go, except Ezine. Ezine sees what others fear. Ezine walked alone, no touch, no escort, only the steady rhythm of her breath and the quiet authority she carried like a second skin. When she reached the Iroko tree, the wind stopped. Even the dogs fell silent. And then she saw it. The soil had been disturbed. Not dug open, but moved, as if something beneath had shifted. Ezine knelt slowly, placing her palm against the earth. It was warm, too warm. Her eyes closed. And in that moment, just a flicker, she saw something that did not belong to the world of the living. A child, standing, watching her. Its eyes were empty. Its mouth opened, but no sound came. Ezine jacked her hand away. Her heart pounded, not in fear, but in confirmation. "This is no curse of the ancestors," she whispered. "This is the work of a human hand." Days passed, and something strange began to happen. Amara changed. Her skin seemed brighter, her steps lighter, her laughter, though rare, carried a strange sweetness that unsettled those who heard it. While the other wives grew thinner with grief, Amara flourished. Even Amma, who feared little, began to watch her closely. "You do not mourn," Amma said one evening, her voice sharp. Amara turned slowly. "And what has mourning given you?" she asked softly. Amma stepped closer. "It has given me truth." Amara smiled faintly. "No," she said, "it has given you weakness." Their eyes locked, and for a moment, something passed between them, something dangerous. King Obinna could not sleep. Night after night, he woke with the same feeling, like unseen eyes watched him from the darkness. His dreams had changed. He no longer saw himself seated on the throne. Instead, he stood outside it, looking in, and someone else sat where he once ruled, a man without a face, waiting, watching, claiming. Obinna would wake drenched in sweat, because deep within him, a truth he had buried long ago began to rise. This throne was never mine. Amara returned to the forest, but this time she did not hesitate. She walked as one who already belonged. The hut was waiting. The old woman smiled before Amara even spoke. "You have tasted the beginning," she said. Amara's voice was steady. "I want the end." The woman leant forward. "The end has a heavier price. I am ready." The woman's eyes gleamed. "No," she whispered. "You are not." Silence stretched between them like a tightening rope. Then, the woman continued, "You have taken life, but life alone does not build a throne." Amara's jaw tightened. "What more is there?" The woman's voice dropped. "Blood of the living is power, but blood of the rightful is destiny." Amara frowned. "I do not understand." The woman smiled slowly. "You will." Months passed. Then one morning, the kingdom woke to a cry, not of mourning, but of life. Amara had given birth, a son, strong, loud, unmistakably alive. The palace erupted in celebration. Drums echoed across Umu-Aja. Women danced. Men rejoiced. At last, an heir. But not everyone celebrated. Ezine stood at a distance, her eyes fixed on the child. He cried loudly, but his shadow did not move. With the birth of Amara's son, everything changed. The king smiled again, the elders relaxed, the people began to hope. But beneath that hope, something darker spread. Because while one child lived, many had died. And questions once whispered began to grow louder. Ama confronted Ezine. "You see it too," Ama said. Ezine nodded slowly. "Yes." Ama's voice hardened. "Then speak." Ezine turned toward the horizon. "Not yet." "Why?" "Because truth, when spoken too early, is killed before it can breathe." Ama clenched her fists. "Then when?" Ezine turned toward the horizon. "When truth walks into this kingdom on its own feet." It happened at dusk. The guards did not see where he came from. One moment, the gate stood empty. The next, he was there, tall, wrapped in dust and silence. His eyes held something ancient, something unshaken by time. "I have come," he said calmly, "to take what was stolen." The guards laughed until he stepped forward and the ground beneath them trembled. Word spread faster than fire in dry grass. A man had come, a man who did not bow, a man who spoke as if the kingdom already belonged to him. The elders gathered, the king was summoned, and when Obinna saw him, his blood ran cold, because he recognized him, not from memory, but from truth. The stranger spoke, his voice steady and unyielding. "I am the son of the rightful king you betrayed." Silence fell like death. "I was sent away so your crime could breathe." His gaze hardened. "But exile does not erase blood." The air itself seemed to tighten. "I have returned," he declared, "to reclaim my father's throne." Everything unraveled quickly after that. Secrets began to surface. Old loyalties shifted. Voices that had been silent for years began to speak. And then the truth about the children came, not from rumor, not from suspicion, but from the unseen. The oracle was called. The entire kingdom gathered. Torches burned. Drums fell silent. The air was thick with expectation and fear. The oracle entered slowly, her body trembling as the spirits took hold. When she spoke, it was not her voice. "The blood cries," it said. "The earth remembers." Amara's heart began to race. The children were not taken, they were given. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The oracle's head snapped toward Amara, and then, "She stands among you." Silence. Heavy. Unforgiving. Amara tried to step back, but her legs would not move. "You fed the darkness," the voice thundered. "You traded innocence for power." Tears filled Amara's eyes. "No, no!" But the truth had already taken shape, and it would not be silenced. The kingdom watched. The wives wept. The king stood frozen, his own sins now standing beside hers. And Amara fell. Not to the ground, but into herself. Because for the first time, she saw clearly. Every child, every cry, every silence, and the throne she had fought so hard to secure was never hers to claim. The rightful king stepped forward. "This land will not carry your shadow," he said. Amara looked up, broken. "Take everything," she whispered, "but spare my child." The wind shifted. The elders looked to the oracle, and the answer came, cold and final. What is born of blood answers to blood. Amara screamed, because deep down, she already knew.